残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ。
For me, much like fishing, woodcutting is one of those skills that I just love to sit down and I just love to go through it and just complete a mundane task without having to turn on my brain too much. And now, with the new Forestry update, they want to add a social component to it, but not too social where you're going to miss out on those times of just sitting there for hours just chopping down the same tree. So you need to talk to the friendly forester and get yourself a forestry kit for 120 coins. After you get yourself that, then you are going to want to start chopping trees. Now, I've only gotten 2 trigger, but come to find out, maybe if I did my research a little bit and actually read through all these different options in the shop, I would learn that I need myself a bee on a stick or a leprechaun charm to spawn the leprechaun event and the flowering bush event. And all this was recorded literally the first day it came out. So I was unawares that world 444, 487, and 510 are worlds that are kind of dedicated to forestry. So what changes have been made? Well, each player is going to receive a +1 boost. It's invisible, there's no indicator or anything, but a +1 boost to woodcutting for each player at the tree, so up to 10 players. And the bonus does not get applied to chopping like a normal tree or when you're in the woodcutting guild or any tree that you grow through farming. And all the trees are on different timers. It's just, if someone stops cutting the tree and you also do, there's like a despawn timer that kind of helps regenerate the tree's health, if you could say that. So the items you have on here is the anima infused bark. I like to call it the anime infused bark. It's pretty much the reward currency that you need to unlock all these different items in the shop. But also, depending on the certain item, you're going to need a certain level, which some of this stuff is geared toward like endgame players who level up everything. Forester's Ration gives you a 30% chance to restore 20% run energy when you're chopping trees. The Secateur's attachment, I think I said that right. I literally practiced on the pronunciation of it by using Google the whole time I was getting ready for this.
Secateurs. Secateurs. Secateurs.
Hey, you should subscribe. Thank you.
It roughly doubles the amount of leaves players can receive from chopping trees. So leaves will automatically go into your inventory, and from there you are able to create forester's rations with it, but also sometimes things in the shop require certain leaves from certain trees. Nature's Offerings gives a 60 to 80% chance to receive an additional log when chopping. The Leprechaun Charm allows players to spawn the wood cutting leprechaun event, which he just shows up and you can bank all your logs with him and keep cutting. The bee on the stick is something you can craft in the shop, which gives you a flowering bush event, which I haven't gotten this to trigger because literally once I put this video together, I actually learned things, so maybe I should read once in a while. Tree leaves, obviously I already said that before, you get that from cutting down trees. And then the outfits, the lumberjack and the forestry outfit. What's cool about them is you can wear them to get all the bonuses, or you can put them in your forestry kit and you will still receive the benefits without having to wear them, which I think is really cool. The Rising Roots event is an event where roots start to spawn around the trees you're chopping. Now, in this example, you see just the regular roots here, but then you also see the roots with the green on them. You're going to want to go for the green ones because that's going to give you in between 5 and 6 anime infused bark. Like, I mean, that's a lot. That's definitely a lot for how long you're going to be cutting down roots and stuff and trees. It's definitely a good way to get some of that bark. And I'm not sure if there is some items that will increase how much you get, because I haven't dived into it too far. But obviously there's going to be other videos out there that explain this better. The roots can be also 3-ticked, if you know what that means. I still don't completely understand tick rates at this point. The Struggling Sapling is an event that happens immediately after you chop down a tree and the sapling tries to grow, but it can't. So you get some resource piles that drop around the tree. There's droppings, and if you don't know what that means poop. Green leaves, rotting leaves, splintered barks, and wild mushrooms. And you use all of these to create mulch, right? Now, you need 3 components. So you run around and collect any 3, and then you give it to the plant, and it's going to tell you, was this successful, or the sapling seems to love blank ingredient as the first, second, or third. And it's this little mini game where you're running around trying to see, all right, what's the right combination to get 100%? You want to get 100%. And if you watch right here, bam, 100%, I figured it out. And sometimes, since it's social, just be a nice person and just tell everybody what it is so everybody knows. Now, it doesn't have to be individual things. You can have like 2 mushrooms and 1 bark. You can have a leaf and 2 poops. It just has to be 3. Now, if you have the bee on a stick, the flowering bush event starts to appear around where you're at, and out of all the bushes, 1 pair will be able to give you strange pollen, right? And honestly, I've done this once, and I don't even have it recorded, but I've done it once, and I don't completely understand it, but it's one of those events. And like a fully pollinated pair of bushes is going to give you 20 to 25 anima-infused bark. And then the wood-cutting leprechaun just shows up, takes all your wood, and then disappears. So, like, if you're really into it, like, you could definitely, absolutely just have this on hand just so when he shows up you can bank your stuff so you don't have to run to the bank. So after all this, I decided to go to 301. Like I said earlier in the video, I did not know that there were strictly worlds made for this. So oh god, this is gonna be bad, isn't it? Oh god. Oh god. I'm only here to get the boost in event drops because of all these people, but I'm not going to enjoy it. And I know people say if you're playing on Rune Light, you can make everyone invisible, but as much as I enjoy using Rune Light when I play RuneScape, I do like to keep it as traditional, original, as intended as possible, just so I can get that full MMO RuneScape, never touching grass experience.